Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are looking at how to find the distance between 2 points using a number line, as well using the concept of absolute value and subtraction. So this is from CPM. This is course 2. This is section 3.2.1. We're looking specifically at number 3-35. So I'll read it and then we'll go through these questions. So it says, use a number line to show the distance between the two given integers. Plot each integer as a point on the number line, and then find the distance between the 2 points. And then it wants us to write each situation as a subtraction problem using absolute value symbols. Okay. So first of all, let's do the number line piece. So if I've got 7 and 4, so if I find 7 on the number line, there's 7 and there's 4. So I want to find that distance between them, right? So we can obviously see the distance between them if we count is 1, 2, 3. So the distance between them is 3, right? I know that. So the distance equals 3. All right, using the number line. But they want us to go to the next step and use this concept of absolute value. Well, remember, absolute value are these symbols here, the straight symbols, right? It looks like parentheses that have been straightened out. Well, absolute value, the definition of absolute value is the distance from that number to 0, right? So if I was to say, let me just, a little side note, say the absolute value of -5, if I asked you what that was, what I'm really asking is, what's the distance from -5 to 0, right? If we look at this number line here, from -5 to 0, and we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is positive 5. So the answer is 5. Really, in result, that answer inside the absolute value always is positive, because it's really truly what it's asking is distance. So that's why we're using absolute value signs here with our subtraction problem, because it's talking about the distance between 7 and 4. So what I do is I just need to find the difference between 7 and 4 with absolute value signs to show that I'm looking at that distance. So absolute value of 7 minus 4 equals the absolute value of 3, which is 3. Right? And then we'll do the same thing for B. So here B, we're talking about 5 and -2. So if I, again, want to find that distance between 5 and -2, I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know the distance is 7. Okay. But if I did not have a number line and I was going to do it using this concept of absolute value, you would say the absolute value of 5 minus -2. Right? I'm actually looking for that difference between the two numbers. To find the difference is, and then using that absolute value, is that distance between them. Well, 5 minus a negative, anytime you subtract a negative, it's really just adding a positive, right? It's the opposite. So we get the absolute value of 7, which is just 7. So again, there's that distance. Last one, -1 and -3. So the distance between those two, 1, 2. The distance is 2, according to the number line. But if I was going to do this with using absolute value, again, I'd say the absolute value of, and I tend to always find you want to find the larger number minus the smaller. So it's -1 minus -3. And if I reversed the subtraction, it would still be okay if I'm using absolute value signs, because it would end up being positive. So it's -1 minus -3, which is the absolute value of -1 plus 3, right? When you subtract a negative, it all becomes plus. And then addition, and then -1 plus 3 is 2. So the absolute value of 2, and then we have 2 for the final answer. So again, there's my showing how to do it using a number line and showing how to do it using absolute value symbols and subtraction. There you go.